this is a tough kid here. The number 5 ranked Valley Tiger, Brady Smith. No slouch here, but Gremmel, you know, the type of nationally ranked wrestler you hear a lot about Gremmel. He's a lot of things, but for a 220-pounder, he's just got so much style and pizzazz.
Look at that. How many times do you see a 220-pounder come out and get a takedown in 8 seconds and then intentionally just release the guy right away? I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
Gremmel's a different breed, but he is, one thing, he is sure of himself. He knows what he is capable of and what his strengths are. And Smith's finding out the hard way.
Yeah, he's here to party. I mean,
look at Gremmel
what
on
Gremmel's
another
strengths
shot. Dump Smith down, another 2-point takedown, and he's going to push him away again for another escape. Wow, look at that duck. Look at him move for a big guy. That is impressive.
I love seeing that. Yeah. He's not going to bore you to death, folks.
Look at him, snaps.
And I'm coming right back again.
Boy, this Gremmel is all over Smith right now. 6-3 lead, and he's not letting up. We're only 52 seconds into the match.
Yeah.
Gremmel's here to please.
You know, I like this 220-pound weight class because you see a lot of actual good physical football players.
Fit there.
They're fit athletes that are fun to watch, that are a little too small for heavyweight to compete against some of the bigger guys, but they're too big to have to cut down to 195 pounds. This weight class is perfect for football players to transition to become a wrestler as well, too. I really like this weight class.
You certainly see a lot of them, the football players at 95, obviously, but at 220, there's just a ton of them. A couple of them that I bet the coaches wish were football players, Ethan Anderson from Southeast Polk and Gannon Gremmel. You know, not following Hempstead, I don't know if Gremmel ever plays football, but with that pedigree, I don't know if he has time for it.
Otto was a winner. You're talking about the kid from Sioux City East.
Unheralded, we didn't even pay attention to.
Yeah, well, he's phenomenal, and he'll be facing Cadena, as you mentioned earlier.
That's a tough kid car that he just beat. Pleasant Valley's got a tough team.
At Unity Point Health, we do things a little differently. Our doctors put together a team around what each patient needs. It might be a dietitian, a specialist, a nurse in your home, or even community services. Coordinated care is about considering all the options and choosing a treatment plan with one thing in mind: you. That's coordinated care. That's Unity Point Health. The point of unity is you.
It has become something of a lost art, remembering someone's face, remembering a name. They're the building blocks of a strong, caring community. Can you think of anything else more important than that? We can't.
Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines, Iowa, continue with 3A semifinal action as we look at some of the mats. We were talking about Gremmel earlier from Hempstead along with Brady Smith. That one's on mat 3. It's a fun one.
Mat 4 now, Ethan Anderson and Cole Baker, the big man from Dallas Center Grimes. They met up in the districts last year. Anderson, no trouble with Baker. Everywhere else, though, Baker is as good as it gets. This is a tough kid that gets overlooked because of the Gremmels, the Eatons, and the Andersons of the world.
Look at Anderson drop in on a low single.
He's another one of your 220-pounders, though. He fits that bill like you're talking about.
I mean, look at him wrestling on the edge.
Look at the body.
Baker stood up there for a second and just kind of relaxed, thought that, you know, Anderson was done wrestling and thought they were going to go out of bounds. Now look at Anderson.
Look at that.
All the way into the center. Bam!
This is beautiful. But guys, Baker's like this when he's not wrestling Ethan Anderson. This is his style, too. These are a good field of 220-pounders. And Anderson, though, just moves like so many lower weight guys, but he's so big and strong. The legs on him.
The guys
I don't know how to define him, guys.
Yeah, we're looking at mat 4 here.
But he's just capable. Let's just say that. He's capable of everything.
Well, this is setting up for a great final between Anderson of Southeast Polk that we're watching on mat 4 and Gremmel of Dubuque Hempstead right now that is up there in mat number 3 in the top left corner for these guys to be finalists tomorrow night. I don't know about the rest of the class, but everything I'm seeing so far to 3A is going to be fun to watch tomorrow night.
Excellent finals. And if it is Anderson and Gremmel, of course, beat Eaton handily to get here in the semifinals. Eaton is the lone guy in the last 2 years to beat Ethan Anderson. He beat him 4-1 in the finals of the Ed Winger Classic, rode him out most of the time and made him look bad. So Cordell Eaton, a tough kid too, and Gremmel just took care of him in the last round. So
7-zip, I think, was that one.
We're headed, and I don't know, maybe Baker, I'm talking about a final, and Baker's only down 3-2 in the second period. But however, if that, either way, we're going to have a good final. But Anderson and Gremmel, I think the fans want to see it. Of course, it was a great semi last year in front of us, down to the wire, and then Anderson pins Gremmel late to move on.
Got a little bit of a comeback coming on right here for Brett of Dowling Catholic over Mixel of Southeast Polk. Third period, Brett's up by a score of 5-4. He was down 4-2 at one time going into the third period. He's come back and escaping a takedown. Just gonna see if Brett can ride out Mixel for the last 25 seconds, and he can't. So we're tied up 5-5 right now.
That's all the money right here.
Take down now.
It's map 5 that you're looking at, or map 6, I'm sorry.
This is a great performance by Brett. I mean, he's the course of this year, you would not say he's on the same level as Mike Sell.
Dion storing up a little energy there, it looks like.
Yeah.
There's the takedown right there from Mike.
He did exactly what he had to do. Pretty quick.
Southeast Polk will win that one and make the finals at 195 pounds. Another Southeast Polk.
Putting the pressure on Bettendorf. Excellent job by Brett. He did nothing wrong there, but
Baker still wrestling hard with Anderson on map 4.
How about Kreider and Cook? Cook right now leading.
20 seconds.
Yeah, we haven't said much there. I mean, Cook's been dominant up to this point.
Kreider, another of the 3-time finalists I mentioned that are going for their fourth, or not finalists, but place winners. Obviously, he's a place winner again in the semifinals, but Cook taking care of.
Fort Dodge.
Heck of a running back. You talked about it, though. It's interesting that what you said, Mark, because Cook's standout running back, and Dion's a good football player, Dion Mikesel, and you've been talking about that weight class and what you're talking about those athletes, and it's pretty interesting. Every time you said that, then I was looking, I'm like, football player, football player, football player.
Well, you have an all-state lineman coming up here at heavyweight for Southeast Polk, but obviously a different build than these two 20-pounders.
Yes.
Marnin is a true heavyweight. You'll see another heavyweight here, Dalton Cool of Jefferson. I know you're familiar with that. The Jefferson heavyweight, he's a lean, looks like these two 20-pounders, but he's a bigger guy. Nice build on the Jefferson
he's coming
heavyweight.
Up right now on mat number 5. That'll be the bottom left corner of your screen. The lone semifinalist for the Jayhawks, who qualified 8 wrestlers. That was a big match for Cook of Fort Dodge as well, too, because they're in a fight right now, again, for Prairie for that third place trophy. And
those teams are wrestling well, too. They're like rising to the occasion here.
There's the other North Scott wrestler, Wyatt Wright, the heavyweight. Even without Eaton, they had Kreider and Wright up here. Tough task up against number 1 Jake Marnin. He's been a dominant heavyweight all year, taking on all comers. Gremmel's building his lead up to 18-6 now on mat 3. Just 6 seconds left there. Of course, Anderson 8-3 on mat 4. With a minute 17 left there, taking care of business. The very tough Cole Baker. That's got to be Ty Clark. Is that Ty Clark? Okay.
Yep. Clark and Cool.
Clark and Cool.
There's a 2-point takedown for Cool of Cedar Rapids Jefferson right there, right away.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, guys, I hate doing this, but the Jayhawk Invitational, always a very good tournament. Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Cool. I believe he beat Clark to seal that for the Jayhawks. In a very tightly contested
You're probably
battle.
right. Clinton does go to that tournament. They are there at that tournament. They have been for years. So you very well could be correct.
It's mat 6. So Gremmel was a winner, just to recap.
Marnin looking to cinch it here. You're not in a good position facing Marnin's belly.
That's a lot of weight on top of your chest right there. A lot of pressure.
This is his deal.
There it is.
There
Southeast Polk with another big win. We told you they were top end heavy. Boy, did they come on.
Mike still stays alive and wins. Marnin scores bonus points.
Yeah.
That's his job, and he does it well.
And
8-3 Anderson.
And Anderson's getting it done here, so those standings tightened a little bit, but
that's closing the gap again. I mention this all the time, but Baker, it isn't going to do any good this year. But Baker's closing the gap on Anderson there, but he won't get another chance at him, but a lot better job out of him this time. He's had a tremendous year, a great senior. He losses coming in. You run into Andersons along the way, though. It's winding down. Unbelievable,
a lot of respect
how fast.
for each other there too. You can tell. I mean, Baker wrestled him tough so early there, and
Anderson knows how hard Baker's fought. These guys respect each other.
That's pretty cool.
And it is great.
That's got to be one of the difficult things.
But here's the thing I like about Coyle, Jefferson.
Dalton Keel.
Dalton Keel, thank you.
You can pronounce it a bunch of different ways, so we got the expert
when you get
there.
stuck on a pronunciation, listening to it here, you convince yourself they're right. And I do that, unfortunately.
It's okay.
Dalton Keel of Sierra Jefferson takes a 2-0 lead going into the second period. Keel is actually, today's not Thursday, but he is wearing a throwback singlet, because that is the singlet that actually were our singlets when I was wrestling there back in 1993.
Really? I was going to ask you that.
That's
if
cool.
You had only the light blue, but you're saying
there he goes.
There's your singlet.
Yeah.
The dark blue.
Actually, I believe we came out with that singlet in 1991 or 92.
Wow.
What's your take on that? I think that's cool.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I would think that all those guys like them too, because the other light blue is really light.
Yep.
It looks like East Buchanan kind of Winthrop, but it's nice to have the differences. As far as we're going to talk about singlets, it is a good look.
Well,
Keel makes it look good.
It's difficult after spending years and years here getting used to a certain singlet. When teams switch all the time, it makes it real difficult sometimes to identify wrestlers.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Southeast Polk, Bettendorf. You look at a lot of these schools. Geez, I've seen probably literally 6 different singlets worn for each one of those schools in one tournament, and so it's kind of like hard to keep up with who's who on what team. And there's Dalton Keel turning Clark of Clinton over to his back, and he's going to get the fall. And Keel's tough there. He gets a guy on his back, and he knows how to put him away. So Dalton Keel is going to be taking on Jake Marnin, a senior, 34-0, ranked #1 in the state, tomorrow night in the finals here in Class 3A.
What a great matchup. That will be entertaining. And if you like singlets, wait till you see those Southeast Polk special finals singlets tomorrow night.
Bad and plaid.
Is that the deal?
They're the only school, I guarantee you this, that had a promotion for, how they have blackouts and whiteouts? They had a be bad, wear plaid at a home meet and senior night.
That's